At this moment, was I thinking of a name? No, but there's a male presence that came in. So I don't know.
I was thinking of a name, and it's a male.
Okay, because there's a male presence that came in, and he actually said to me, David, go to David, go to David. And so David, here I am. So David, is there something specific that you'd like to look at, a conversation you'd like to have that might take us somewhere?
Okay, well, yes, actually, I was thinking about a good friend of mine who committed suicide in 2006.
Okay.
It was a very good friend, actually, and it was quite a surprise when he did that.
So I feel like there's a lot of pressure in here. I feel a lot of congestion. I'm just going to be blunt, either he hung himself or did he hang himself?
He suffocated himself with a plastic bag over his head.
I can't catch the breath in here, so it's either or it's, and part of the reason he's telling me, not that you'll ever understand it, but he didn't feel heard. Not by you, but just in general. He felt like he'd never felt heard. This was not a common knowledge for anybody, because this man would be the last person that we would think would take his life, is what he's saying. He suffered up and downs. Did you know that?
Yes, I kind of guessed that, but unfortunately we were very good friends, but then he got married and he sort of went and did his own thing and lived his own life, started business.
He's also saying that he was very chameleon-like. He could blend in and be what people needed him to be. He was very, he would assimilate very easily into situations, and that was also part of the reason he lost his voice.
Right.
So that was a big part of it. Is there anything specific that you have for me? Any questions or comments that you'd like to make?
Well, it was a surprise to me that his name was Ralph, and he committed suicide in 2006, and it was quite a surprise to everybody. His wife had no indication that this was going to happen. It was just a tremendous shock when he took his van off to the place where he used to live, and he killed himself in the van by suffocation. And a dog walker found him the following morning, and then the police came around to his wife's house to let him know what had happened. It's as if he thought he was worthless, and basically he thought his family would be better off without him, and he left a wife and 3 kids.
Well, it's interesting because he's telling me it had to do with self-worth, and I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, but there were some financial struggles in his life. Whether it was perceived or real, there were financial struggles, and he saw, this as a way out of that. So,
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Actually, his business that he set up was failing, and he felt it was his fault.
But listen, it doesn't matter. And I've said this time and time again, and I've heard it time and time again, rather. You don't go to a special line because you take your life. There's no, it doesn't, you don't go, over there because you took your life.
Yeah.
Like we're all going to be herded in, if you will, for lack of a better word, into this beautiful place. And then based on what we've learned, what is yet to come, we may break off and go into different lines, so to speak. But he's fine. And, he says, actually, life goes on.
Yes.
That's the message to us all. Life goes on, and I've heard that thousands of times. So David, that was your little gift there.
Thank you.
So if anybody wants to go next, you can raise your hand by visual, or however you want to do this. Is there anybody that has a pressing need to go next? It wouldn't be rude. You could just help me out.
I'll help you out.
Okay, Tracy.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm all my life that I've been in this journey. There's one thing I have never been able to do, and that is hear from my loved ones. No matter who I've spoken to, no matter who thinks they can guide me or whatever. I never get a direct message from my loved ones. And I don't know if it's because I know where they are and I know that they're fine and they really kind of don't really need to reach out because I know.
Mhm.
But it'd be kind of nice to have a wave and something tangible,
Yeah.
something solid from them for once to just go, yeah, we're here. It's not all in your head.
Define solid.
Well, something that I would know would be from my, like, say, my grandmother. I really would like to hear from her because she was the one that got me into the spiritual journey as a very young girl.
Mm-hmm.
I had clairaudience at 13 years old. I experienced many different spiritual things throughout my life. I'm a very kind of elemental person when it comes to energy. And I just know they're all right, and sometimes I think knowing that they're all right, they feel like they just don't need to reach out and say hey or give you a pat or whatever, and it's almost like I'm missing out. I feel like a little bit.
Well, a couple of things, and I've been told this, and I'm being told this right now, and this is I'm using language that we understand here on Earth, and maybe I could be more sophisticated with y'all, but I'm just going to do it in my basic terms. We're up here, okay? The spirits are up there. They're busy doing their spirit thing. They're not looking down, again, just looking down, going, oh, I think I need to let Tracy know I'm around. Now, if Tracy had something happening in her life, there was a dramatic, and she just really needed to hear from grandma, or she had a pressing concern, typically you would go and ask, right? I mean, that's why I'm here, because people ask me, can you contact? And so when you ask, do you get responded to?
Actually, when I go into a medication, I go into a complete blank void. It's like I have no monkey mind. I have nothing. It's blank. And I basically wait for things to come in, and nothing happens, and I don't know what is blocking me from these things coming in, so I can't get my answers. So
try automatic writing after the fact. Go into your dark, go into the darkness, not the darkness, but go into the cutoffness, if you will. And then once you're out of it, whatever that looks like, use your pen, write it down, don't censor it, because there will be tons of messages for you. Your grandmother, she's kind of doing her thing. There's nothing traditional, but I'm going to put this out there for anybody, because there's a spirit here that's showing me a guitar pick. Does that mean anything to anyone on the call?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So whomever that is, whatever it is, they are present and they are waving this guitar pick, and they're saying, look, it's not literal. Like, you might not see a guitar pick on the ground, but in your mind's eye, you might see a guitar pick. So who is it, Tracy?
My son plays guitar, and I'm often wonder if he doesn't get watched over by my mother's father, and also my nan, who was kind of like into all this. And I figured she would be able to go, hello, hello, hello. But no.
Well, the guitar pick was pretty obvious, and the fact, I didn't know if it was for you or just anybody, because there's a lot of energy on this call. It could have been for anybody, but the guitar pick is very obvious. And the guitar pick, I knew I purposely did not tell you this person plays guitar, because this person doesn't play guitar, but they're showing the guitar pick for the reason that you mentioned. So
yeah, I find them in the laundry. I find them everywhere, but I get them back, but they're for my son, but
And there's signs. That's actually your spirit world talking to you. Now, to discern who it is, you named a couple of people that it could be. I would go to the body. The body is the number one gauge. Feel it. Ask, Nan, is this you? If you get this, typically it's from the throat to the tummy that we get these, bubblings up, or these feelings. So ask who it is. I bet you're going to find it's a little bit of both. Are the two related?
The guitar pick and my grandmother.
Are the grandmother and the grandfather related?
No. They're separate, maternal, paternal.
Okay. So there's two sides of the family coming together here. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be, it is be from both. Ask who it is in the moment.
Okay. And I have one other question, if I could just please. I would like to know if my husband, who's also been through an LBL with me and everything, and I've seen in an LBL, and he appears to me as a guide in my LBL. Is he a walking guide? Because he's really kind of connected.
Yeah. They're asking me, why are you, did you say walk-in?
No, a walking guide. Like,
oh, because I was going to say, they're asking me, why is she saying walk-in? A walking guide. Yes, absolutely. He shines the light. He's the person that shines the light, that shows the way, full of wisdom, but also is somebody that will put you on the path to ask the right questions. So in so many ways, that's an affirmative. So many ways.
Okay, thank you.
Brig, I think you were next.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Good to see you. You look very nice.
Thank you. I feel wonderful. Thank you.
Me too. Well, I don't know if I really have a question, but what comes to mind is that maybe somebody is with me in this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if you have the same feeling.
There is a very, again, I don't know who this is for, but there is a very, I'll call her sophisticated, almost like, I'm going to say a Betty Davis kind of energy here. I don't know if y'all know who Betty Davis is, but she's got the sophistication of a Betty Davis, and she carries herself like a Betty Davis. And she's a very, would have been a very outspoken woman here on Earth. And we might have called her quite the character. Does that resonate with anyone you might know, Brig? Okay.
No.
Okay, so she is in the room. Does it resonate with anybody else? Does that character resonate? Okay, so Tracy, now the portal's open. Tracy's going to get inundated. Okay. So Brig, is there somebody specific you're looking for?
Actually, I was thinking of my late husband.
Okay. Okay, so let's see what I can do in terms of calling him in. Brig, did he have an accent?
No. He was like a country boy accent, maybe.
I was going to say there's a thickness to his voice, like I couldn't say it's Australian or European or whatever, but there's a thickness to his voice, like yeah, I would say country boy is what I'm saying. I want to say a twang. I don't know, like twang.
That he also, the guitar pick fits him too, by the way.
A what?
The guitar pick.
Brilliant.
Too.
Brilliant. Yes. You know, it's funny because he says it's not like I sat around on the front porch with wheat in my teeth. Did he have a sense of humor?
Oh yeah.
Well then,
when he was stoned, he did.
Yeah, well, he's telling me I didn't sit on the front porch with a piece of wheat in my teeth. He says because I made fun of him with the twang. He thinks. Anyway, he's. Musically, he's still doing music, he says. Does that make any sense to you? He actually would be, he was a writer too. Did he write? Or are you the writer? I can't remember.
I'm the writer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. I'm the writer.
Mm-hmm. So he's still doing music, but he says that he doesn't need to relax anymore. He was very high strung, except when he was stoned. Okay.
Which was most of the time. Yeah.
Right. Well, because he was high strung, he needed to be stoned. Also, there was a great chemistry between the two of you. Brig, I know this is going to sound unconventional, but could it be you that has the Betty Davis energy? When I was speaking Betty Davis, like I was seeing your face next to Betty Davis's face. So you have an air about you, a certain sophistication, but and forgive me for asking this, I'm just blunt. Well, we all can be, but did you have a time in your life when you were perceived as bitchy?
I used to be, and then
oh, you froze.
Yeah.
past.
You used to be, and then what?
I said in the past.
In the past, you used to
I
be.
was a royal.
Mhm.
Yes,
And you kind
a
of had,
royal bitch.
yeah, and you kind of have that. This is what this man is telling me. You had that kind of your presence commanded attention when you walked in, almost like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Devil Wears Prada, where she walks in and she's
Yes.
and she's like bitching and things are like, you could be that person. Like, he's telling me all this about you, but he said the heart of a god. So that's what he's saying. Does that make sense?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I still have the same presence. It's just in a positive more. I'm no longer bitchy.
Mhm. Well, and you know what? There's a fine line between bitchy and confidence when we're women. I hate to say it, but there is. Is she bitchy?
I was a bitch.
Yeah,
I was a bitch.
but now
I was my
you're firmly confident.
protective zone,
Yeah. No, he's cueing me all in here. He's got it going on. Okay.
Yeah, that's him all right.
Yeah. Artistic. Both of you artistic. Okay.
Yeah, in different ways.
So who would like to go next? And that doesn't mean we won't come back to you. Just who would like to go next?
Thank you.
Lucy, I pick you.
You're muted.
Oh, okay. So
There you
I unmuted. Sorry. Yeah, I have been going through some external anxiety stuff, and I really want to talk to my mom. Like, she transitioned when I was 3 years old, but sometimes I get messages in dreams and such. But lately I haven't gotten anything, and I'm really in a place in my life where I would love to get some advice or direction or something like that.
So here's a couple of things from your mother. First of all, we use the word dream, okay? It's a very common word that we use, but I have been told in many downloads, it's really not a dream. It's our soul having an experience. And so when you, I'll say dream, you are actually, your soul, a piece of your soul is leaving to go spend time with mom. All right. And that hasn't happened in a while. There's been a lot of anxiety around you. I can pick up a lot of tension. I even got some heaviness in your chest. So I don't know if it's physical heaviness or emotional heaviness, but that lowers our vibration. And so then it's not as easy to get where we need to go. It's just a thing. The other thing is your mother is showing me very much she's cradling you. Just like she did when you were an infant. Something invaded your mother's life, and that's what took her life. Do you know what that was? What she passed of?
Car accident.
Okay, so I can just see something like this, like something banged into her, something invaded her space. Was it just something she was just there and it hit her? Because she's telling me it was an invasion.
I don't even, I don't know specifics, but her and my dad were driving to see a new apartment that they were going to buy. And because of icy roads, a truck that was in front of them slid, and pretty much that's how.
So I don't know what she means then by saying invaded. So what I'll do, just for a moment, I'm going to step away from you. There is an energy here. It's a female energy. And invasion usually means, when I hear that cancer took over someone's life. She is a female energy. Is there anyone here that lost a female friend, member of their family to an invasion of cancer? Does that resonate for anybody? Oh, Rod. Rod and Brig. Okay. She's this person that's here that lost her life. She was not old. She was, well, I'm 56, so old is all relative. She was not old per se. She's showing me she was in her late 60s. Does this resonate with the timing for either one of you?
Not me.
Okay. So she's showing me, what's that? Brig, no Brig either. So,
No.
all right, so let me push that because we could sit here and I can go on and on, but I don't choose to
This
do
is
that.
Shannon, can you hear me?
What's that?
This is Shannon. My mom died of cancer at 61.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it could be your mother. She's showing up here. Maternal energy, she comes in. So let me go back to Lucy for a minute. Lucy, your mother, your mother wants to say the maternal thing to you. Sweetheart, don't worry about it. It'll all work out. I can see the big picture. You need to understand that you're doing yourself more harm than good by being anxious about it. You really need to let it go. So do you know what, and we don't have to get into personal stuff, but do you know what the it is that she's talking about, that you just need to chill out, relax, and let it go? Do you know what that is?
It's hard to explain. It's actually like I have gotten the thing that I've always wanted. It's the freedom to travel and do whatever it is that I wanted to do, and I'm doing it now. But at the same time, I feel like it's like something is not enough, or something of that sort. Like something is missing, or maybe like I'm looking for my purpose and it's not showing up, and I don't know, it's weird. I wrote a book and I thought that would be satisfying because it's helping people, and I can see that it is, but it's not, that doesn't do it either.
Well, listen, here's the thing, and I don't know, this is intuitive guidance for you. This is what I'm hearing from the angels. It's one thing to write it. It's another thing to put it into action into your own life. So are you actionable with what you're teaching in your own life?
How should I put it? When I can be, like I do my best with it. Maybe 50% of the time I follow, like it's hard to follow every single step of things that I teach because there's a lot of them that would take me all day to actually complete. But it's for people to choose what they do feel.
So then the answer isn't 50%. The answer is all the time. If you're all the time conscious of it and you're all the time working on it, and it's impossible for one person to do it all, then you are doing it. But there's something, and I can't see it, there's something out of alignment. Number one, I want to say that purpose isn't a to-do. It's not on our to-do list. Purpose is to be. And so when we learn how to be, there's only one way to be, and that is love. And so, Lucy, I ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, on any given day, how much do you love yourself?
Like 7.
Okay. So, and listen, it feels weird to be asked that question, but I'm being led to ask you that question because
That's funny because my book is about self-love. It's literally, boundless self-love. That's the name of the book.
Well, the teacher teaches what they most need to learn. And so while you say 50% of the time I'm doing what it says, there's another 50% that says you're not doing what it says, or perhaps you're missing pieces of it. Now, again, you're spot on with what you're doing. You're creative, you're talented, you're all of that. You have all of the decorations, so to speak. But the piece, when I look at your heart, and I do medical intuitive stuff, but I'm scanning energetically the heart, there's a crack down the heart. It's like, it's literally broken, but not emotionally broken, okay? It needs to come together. And I think why this is coming up now, it has to do with, while it was a long time ago, it still has to do with the maternal energy.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. And that may be the missing piece, because your mother is holding your hand like this. She's holding your hand like this. Now, conventionally, we might say, oh, feathers. We know that that's known for the spirit world, but your mother's telling you in unconventional places, you will find feathers. Unconventional places. So if you're out in the park and you're taking a walk and there's a pigeon feather, that's a conventional place. If you go up on top of your refrigerator, get some bowls out over top and you see a little feather there, that's kind of unconventional, unless you have birds flying around your house. I don't know, maybe. But do you see what I'm saying, right? Look for the unconventional. And just please know this, because I hear from your guardian angel, you've always navigated towards purpose. You've always navigated that way, and there's no difference right now. Okay. Was that? I hope it was helpful. Okay.
Oh my God, so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so who's next? Show of hands. Enos? Is that how I say it? Enos? Oh,
Yes.
I remember you. You have another name.
Andy.
Andy, that's right. I knew it. Okay. How are you?
I'm terrific.
Yay. Okay, awesome. So what can I do, or what can we do for you?
I don't know. I have a question.
Perfect, but can I ask you, who is Martin?
Martin.
First name, last name, Martin. It might be a street. I don't know. I just get the energy of Martin around you. Martin.
No
Okay.
connection I can think of.
Actually, it's a gentleman. It's a man. His name is Martin. It may be first name or last name, but he will appear. You're going to have it. Tracy, is it for you again?
No.
Oh,
Because
Tracy was laughing. I was like, damn, girl. All right.
I know a rich martini, but everybody does.
I like a rich martini. All right. Oh, wait. I got off track. So, Enos, keep in mind that that will come across your path, that person named Martin. Okay? So
The only Martin I know is my insurance agent.
we might need him because that energy is all around you. So listen, you don't live in the same area as he lives, do you?
No.
Yeah, but so it may be, maybe you're going to get an email from Martin saying, dude, it's time to renew. I don't know, but Martin is all around you. I just needed to tell you that.
If I got a call from him, it would be one of my insureds who died.
Oh, well, let's hope that doesn't happen anytime soon. What is your question for me?
Is my mom in this life, she is not here anymore, she went home. Is she one of my spirit guides?
Is your mother one of your spirit guides? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Was your mother a very spiritual woman?
Very religious.
Okay, I'm confusing the two with spiritual and religious because I'm trying to get her attention here with me. And she's saying I was very spiritual, okay? And she's also telling me she had a lot of artifacts around. I don't know what that means. Was she a collector of stuff?
At her age, she might have collected a lot of junk.
Yeah, well, she's calling it artifacts. Or do you have artifacts?
Yeah, I do, yes.
Okay, yes. That's why I'm confusing them. And this is your biological mother, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. To the best of my knowledge that I can assume that this is her, and I feel her, she's absolutely saying she guides you, and she's saying every word that goes on the paper, she approves of, and she's with you. So that's your message. Does that mean?
Thank you. I was doing a little meditation and it came to me that she was one of my guides.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny because I've been told that our guides share DNA with us. Most of the time they share DNA with us, and they've shared many lifetimes with us. And so it would make sense. I've never heard that you can't have a guide as you live in this life. Your mother lived with you. I've never heard that she couldn't be your guide. And I'm not feeling any adversity to the fact that I'm telling you she is your guide. There's no contrary in me to that. So I feel very confident in relaying to you that she is your guide. Did your mother have an affinity for roses?
Yes.
Because I smell roses coming in as we're talking about this. And also, forgive me because I'm blunt, there's an energy here that's wearing a very cheap ass perfume. I don't know how else to say it. Does that mean anything to anybody? With all due respect, do you remember, maybe some of you are old enough to remember Jean Naté? Does anyone remember Jean Naté? Oh my God, am I dating myself that much? Oh, Elizabeth, do you remember Jean Naté? No, all right. It was like this, my grandmother used to buy it in the drugstore back in the day when you went in and got and everything, and she'd buy gallons of it for like $1.99. And it's like,
a man or a woman?
What's that?
Is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
Is it taboo? Like the smell of taboo?
I don't know. Forgive me because I'm blunt. All I can say, cheap ass smell.
It makes me sick.
Then, Tracy, I don't know everybody's showing up for you here tonight, so perhaps.
I'm sorry.
But this energy's just here. This energy's just perusing. She's just checking it out, that kind of thing. But the smell, I smelled the roses with your mother, which are lovely because they're actually physical roses. Very lovely. And then this other energy, perhaps it's one of your mother's friends. I don't know. Sorry.
When I was young, there was a cheap perfume called Couscous.
Called what?
Couscous. K-U-S, Couscous.
Oh, I eat couscous, or I used to. All right, yeah, okay. Perhaps that is with your mother then.
Perhaps.
Or a friend of hers or something.
Yes.
But anyway, your mom is your spirit guide. This energy's tagging along with her. That's that. Okay, so Elizabeth, what do you have for me?
I'm a little bit like Tracy, I think. I want to know why I don't hear from any of my relatives. I often lie awake at 3 a.m. and I'll ask them to come and see me or something, and nothing, just blank. And I've lost 3 of my close relatives, and I just think one of them might have bothered to come and say hi.
So what I'm hearing for you is try a different method, because not everybody hears. And when I talk to you and when I say you can see them, it's not a literal see them. Like you're not going to be sitting in your kitchen having a cup of coffee and grandma's going to stroll across the kitchen. I mean, it can be like that, but it's not going to be like that. You might be out at the grocery store and you might out the corner of your eye see somebody that reminds you of grandma, and boom, there's a communication from grandma, that kind of thing. I don't know why you're not hearing them at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just know that they said to me, try a different method. The other thing is, are you normally, are you a creative soul?
Very.
Because there's something
that's painting. that's fine.
You do something with your hands. There's an orchestration
I paint
with the hands. Have you ever considered doing color therapy?
No.
For people. So I'm just going to give you this because Spirit's giving it to me. So I don't know what you do professionally, but color therapy might mean that you have a client that comes in, they paint a picture of whatever they want to paint. You have a plethora of colors there. They choose the colors, they paint. And then looking at the painting and aligning with the color, the vibrations of the chakras, your intuitive knowing, you give the client a reading.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
It's something different than color therapy.
Well, it's funny because I am a reader also, and I've been sort of thinking whether I want to go back into it or not, and sort of, and that really tickles my fancy. It's right alongside what I do as well with my art.
And it's like this, it's like a dovetail, because it's not conventional. Oh, does he love me? Is he coming back? It's none of that. I call it baby mama drama. There's none of that baby mama drama. It's deep, therapeutic, art related. Here's what I know. Here's what you need to know. Boom. I'm telling you. And this is going to be a huge hit because to my knowledge, what I know, and I mean, maybe I know this much, I don't know of anybody that's doing that. Does anybody?
No, I don't know anyone's doing it around here at all. And yeah, I think that would be great. Thank you so much, Veronica.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Spirit. Okay,
Thank you.
who hasn't had a turn? Shannon,
Yes.
your turn. Do you have a question?
Actually, not really. I speak to my loved ones a lot. I speak to a lot of different spirits. That spirits kind of guide me around to meet their people and have me blurt out things random things.
Okay.
I call myself an accidental medium. I do a lot of work for spirits. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really wonderful. And,
Awesome. Maybe you should give me a reading. No, I'm kidding.
Why not?
Well, the way I do it is, and I don't really know if I ever want to really do readings. Spirits tell me who I need to meet, and then they start telling me certain things I need to say to somebody. Because if somebody is longing to meet a loved one, the loved one will bring me over, bring me there. I'll meet them, and then I'll say things, odd things. Usually, I ask permission first. Are we still here?
I just heard something for you. All right. You are the celestial matchmaker.
Yeah, I'm a messenger.
Okay, I'm first.
What's that? Yeah, celestial in the stars, in the heavens, matchmaker. You are aligning people with their loved ones.
Yes, that's my job.
That's the title.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it is what I do, and it's really cool. I really like doing it. I feel blessed.
And what a comforting, peaceful feeling it is to give to people, right? I mean, it's like,
yeah. It will, because I meet a lot of people who are just out of the blue, they reach out to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, are you ready to talk to that person? They'll say they're missing so-and-so, and I'll say, oh, well, are you ready to talk to that person? And they'll say, what do you mean? I'm like, well, and whatever comes out, and all the time, I know I've been put there by their loved one to talk to them about what they need to know. It's really cool. Then I have long-term relationships. Like if I haven't heard from a spirit for a while and I know their loved one needs something, I'll just tap in, and they'll say something like chocolate chips, and I'll go, okay. So I'll let the loved one know, hey, about chocolate chips. They're like, oh yeah, I was just making cookies. And I'm like, there's your sign. It's kind of a fluid, lovely, absolutely lovely way that I get to be, and I'm blessed with it.
And it's so giving back, like it's giving peace. One of the things that has always interested me, when there's a lot of people I get that come to me that, not a lot, but yeah, a lot, I guess, that feel guilt over for whatever reason, their loved one passed and maybe they were in another state, or, there's guilt. And every time without fail, all I've ever heard is, we don't do guilt. There is no guilt. And so the human feels guilty, but the soul, there's no guilt. So
I meet a lot of people that have committed suicide, a lot of spirits that have committed suicide that are reaching out to their loved ones, and or a lot of children that have died of cancer, etc., that reach out to their parents. That's really kind of, I feel sometimes trepidatious. Is that the word? When a spirit is knocking on my door and leading me places, and they want me to approach their loved one, and I just have to lead with love and do the best I can.
And just know this, that's only the human part of you that's feeling the fear. That's all. Because there's nothing to feel trepidation about, or to feel anxious or anything, because that's a human learned behavior. Okay.
Right. I just don't want to make anybody who's feeling sad feel any sadder, but then I know that I'm being led by truth. I'm being led by something so much bigger than me, that I need to just let that go and just do what I'm told to do.
Brilliant. Beautiful. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
So Sylvana, is that how I say it?
Silvana.
What do you have for us tonight, honey?
I don't know. This is the first time I participate in anything like this, so I don't know.
So do you have a question? Is there something that you'd like to know? I see things, I hear things, I smell things. I always like to say I don't predict things because free will happens. So I can offer insight from the beings.
There's a question that I keep asking myself in my meditations. It's very simple. It's actually, who am I on a soul level?
Who am I on a soul level? And the only answer that comes to my mind, and it shot right out my third eye, I am. I am.
Yeah.
So the energy of who am I is answered by I am. Do you understand the I am?
Yes.
The I am. So we are all an extension of the I am. We all claim the right to the I am. So I don't know if that quite answered it the way you expected me to answer it. You might have been looking for something maybe not so big and bright. Is there a human way that you were looking for an answer?
I don't know if human. It's just, I know all of that theory. I embrace it. I feel it as true. About all of us being the one, you know. But there's something else I need to find out about myself, and I'm not sure what is that. That's why maybe I asked.
So you have no clue. You really don't know. Is that what you're saying? Is it like there's a hidden piece of yourself?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I don't know why I'm asking that to myself. I don't know. It just keeps popping up. Like there's something else that I need to know, and I don't know what it is.
Because what I sense is you're waking up to a different level. And so, you know, we come in knowing everything. We get in here, then we're commercialized, I say it, by humanity, and we get the limited beliefs, and, you know, all of a sudden we wear labels, we get identities, you know, if he's your boy, let him wear blue, girl, let her wear pink, and then we go to work and we're labeled there and we're labeled everywhere. And so naturally, as a human, we go, well, who am I? What does this mean? But your soul right now, your soul is asking you to define who you are. It's not a title that you wear. It's not a job you have. Your soul is asking you to reclaim. So let me back up. What I know is our souls are like Swiss cheese. Okay, so picture a piece of Swiss cheese. Every time we have an experience or a life that sucks a piece of our soul out, we have holes in us. And so there are people who do soul retrieval. I've worked people through the process, and you want to replace the missing pieces or do the best you can. You're searching for something, and it's literal because it's missing from your soul. You're like Swiss cheese. But yet it hasn't been revealed to you. You don't know what it is yet. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not privy to see it. So it must mean it's not time to be revealed. So does that make sense to you? And honestly, listen, I'm the first person to say to anybody, I could just be sitting here making shit up. I mean, the truth is, I'm not, but the truth is, it has to resonate with the person that's hearing it. So again, I'm of integrity. I have a great record. That's all irrelevant. I can say anything. If it doesn't resonate with your heart, you have the right to say, not so much. It doesn't mean anything. Does it mean anything to you, what I said? And you don't offend me.
No, it does. It does.
Okay.
It does.
Because now your mission becomes, okay, to spend time with your soul and listen to her, and she will lead you to where that peace is. And that peace may be, you know, maybe 12 lifetimes ago. I don't know. But once you have that peace in there will become a fullness about you, a completion of sorts. Right now you feel incomplete. Like, you ever feel like you forgot something? Like you leave your house and you're like, I feel like I forgot something, but I don't know this is kind of how you're feeling with your soul. So.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but I know Savannah and I have been talking, we've been chatting back and forth, and at least from my perspective on it,
That what you see?
she was, you know, she has that desire that I had before, where I don't know exactly how to define what I'm looking for. Someone would say, you know, what are you searching for? And I'd tell them I have no clue. I have no clue. I don't feel like I have any choice. But if there's I'm compelled to know something, and I'm driven to know something that I don't have an idea of what the hell I'm even looking for. And I think she feels that same thing. And it's very hard to articulate. You know, it's sort of like you're wandering off into the dark and people are saying, what the hell are you doing? And you go, I don't know. I'm supposed to go out here. I'm supposed to do this. And it's really hard because it makes you feel like you're a little bit nuts. And, but I think for me, it was like, now I understand. Now I know what I was doing and why I was doing that. And I was trying to tell her that this is just part of the process.
Well, it's called faith, you know, and I don't put that with a religious thing. That's not a religious term.
No, but I think it was like there was something else to know. There was something else, something that you're trying to, you know, some information that you're trying to get on a personal experience level.
Is it okay to not know it though? Because that's where, when we sit back, right? Because that's an analytical human thing. I need to know. How about just—
No, it wasn't even though I needed to know. It was like, I have to know. There's something going on that I don't know what it is, but like I told people I didn't have any control over that. There was something else within me that was driving the machine. It wasn't a conscious analytical thing, but there was something else driving it. And I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, you're going nuts. I mean, this went on for years.
So what was the resolve?
Well, I had the experience of one. So I was like, after that, I was like, okay, now I know what was going on. That's the game that I'm playing with myself. There's
nothing else to look for.
Well, yeah, after that, it was like, okay, well then once that happened, then it was like, that drive stopped. I had gotten to the point where it was, I had my understanding, I had my experience, and I didn't feel that drive, but that drive was me. That drive was me playing this little game with myself to sort of, you know, like I knew that I was part of the divine, you know, and I'm revealing it to myself, but I like taking a form and hiding in a form and pretending that I'm not the divine. Oh. So there's this little game of going back and forth where you're, you know, I'm not God, but you know, you always think that God is separate from you. And then when you discover that it is you, then you go, oh my God, holy crap. I've been playing this game thinking that God was separate from me. And yet I am the divine the whole time. Like,
where does that come from, do you think? Because I wasn't raised with any religion, and until I went to know myself.
Me neither. I didn't believe in any religion. I had no religious background.
No, I had no religious, but the difference with me was I always just felt like I was part of the tree. Like
I never felt that.
I just came out of the womb, and I have abandonment issues. I mean, I had every issue you could think about. But yet I never felt alone. I always just felt like, geez, I'm part of that tree. Look at that tree. That's me. I just, even as a kid.
I had the same experience and conditions, but I felt complete separation. Complete separation.
So we had different paths to learn.
Yes.
I came out in uniform knowing that I didn't know what the hell to do with it. I was like, well, and everybody like this? Like, don't y'all just know that you're God? Like, that's how I kind of felt, you know, but I respect, again, that's your part of the journey. And Silvana, you may be looking for something also like that, but you also understanding you're part of the whole, the I am, but you also may be looking for a piece of your soul that needs to be remembered so that you can get to that next level of understanding. That could be what's happening. Not an easy journey. I'm sorry.
What I usually talk with Rod is that not only I'm always looking for something and I don't know what it is, and but like there's something hidden about myself that I can't quite figure out what it is. And there's no amount of meditation, no amount of soul searching that gives me the answer. So I usually tell him I have no reason to do this searching. I'm just compelled to do it. So that's why I asked.
So there's a reason.
You feel absolutely compelled. You feel like that the motivation, the drive within is just, it's outside of your control. Like all of this is just unfolding, exactly how you're, it's all planned, and you're just, this, participant that really doesn't know anything that's going on, and you just have to go along with the program. And you just feel compelled. It's like driven, like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but when I get there, I'll let you know.
Enos?
Yes. Could it be that there's a piece of her childhood that she can't remember, and subconsciously she's being driven to unearth what it is that she has forgotten? It's not necessarily something spiritual or soul-wise, but something physical that took place in her childhood that she has forgotten.
Silvana, does that resonate with you? Could there be something in childhood that you blocked out?
No. I don't think so. No, I don't think it's something of this life. I'm just. I feel like I'm a very complex person inside, and there's something I need to know, and I don't know what that is. Usually, Rod tells me exactly what he said a while ago. What is that?
My glasses on. She has to be comfy with self before she knows who she is. Yeah, she has to. Yeah. Is there a comfort with being who you are?
No.
Well, I think there's that, part of the uncomfort comes from the fact that, you feel compelled to know something. It's sort of like it's a little hamster wheel that goes around. Like, well, if I get the piece of information, well, then I'll be comfortable knowing who I am. But you can't ever seem to get that because you're not comfortable with who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going around and around. It's really, I mean, for me, I don't think I would have, there was definitely, there was definitely a comfort level with originally with the Life Between Life session, and the other one in the tank. It wasn't until ayahuasca that literally pushed me through the whole edge. Through the other thing, the other side. And that was, what I told her was that, you have to go you go through the death process. You experience death. And once you let go of everything, concepts that you think that you are, then it's like, oh, okay, that's the trick. Now here you get to take a look and see what's going on.
Literally, it takes a lot to render me speechless. I can respect completely what you're saying. I can feel it. I cannot relate on any level to it. And that's not good or bad. I just don't know what to say.
Well, I think it's the layers of the onion that you put on in a life. Like I know that when I take a form, I have to make it really complex. I have to make it really, really complex because when I don't do that, then I can find out really quickly. Like this is I love playing this where I'll take a form and then I add this complexity to it, rejection, isolation, I just put it all on in order to keep me in the earth plane, sort of keep me here. And then it's this game of, let's see when he's going to find out. Does he start getting the clues? Does he start? And when I when I had my experience, I looked at it and I was, oh, you know, I was like, I got to that space and I was like, oh my God, like I actually, this is why I take a form, because I don't want to be in this, not that I don't like the space, it's just that I'm always there. I'm always in the space of one. I've always been there. And so I don't, you know, people talk about, you know, bliss and perfection and stuff. That's fantastic. Trust me. And after a while, you want some variety. You want to have some adventure. You want to have some danger. You want to have, and so you take on a form and you do these crazy adventures. And for me, I like burying myself in the adventure, and then trying to figure my way out to what I am. Like trying to figure out my identity through this crazy layered. It's like a layer of cakes.
Veronica,
That's
Awesome.
this is
You're
Shannon.
awesome.
Sorry.
Hello.
That was just my experience. That was my experience, but I think Savannah just did a ayahuasca, and she said she had gotten to the peak point where you have to let go, where you sort of accept your death. And she was like, it was too much, you know, it was too much. And I know what that was like, but I was telling her that's sort of, for me, that was I had to let go. I had to accept death and say, okay, well, it is what it is. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. And once you do that, all of that stuff is just put away, and it's just, you know, it's bliss and it's harmony, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Veronica, can I say something?
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, Shannon,
Sure.
go ahead.
Yeah, Veronica, I relate to what you say with being born and knowing that we're part of God. I knew that my birth parents were not my real parents. I knew from early on that I was not of the earth, the human plane. I know I'm human, but I knew, like what you said, you knew you were part of the tree. And I was walking around and saying to people, why don't you know that you're God? They tried to raise me Catholic, and that kind of talk got me kicked out of Catholic communication, Catholic school. So that's fine, and it's because I had to keep saying it. But what I want to say to Rod is I live vicariously what you do. I have no
Yeah, I'm raising my hand.
Well, I'm very interested. I'm vicariously, I'm living your adventures and your striving and your this full on colorful thing that you're doing. I'm living vicariously through you because I don't want to do it. You know, I've taken my share of LSD. I've taken my share of mushrooms and all that stuff. I know what that is to me. I don't even want to ever do that again, but I know what you're doing. I never want to go in an isolation tank. That I have claustrophobia, but I'm learning through what you are doing, and I'm sort of cheating, haha. But I am learning by what you say and what you do, how expanding that part of our being makes a difference and can bring us around to a different knowing.
I had, when I say I had no clue, I mean, I'm telling you, for 44 years of my life, I had zero clue. I didn't believe in God. I mean, I was never religious, but I just didn't, I just thought there was, you know, I looked at churches and religion, I thought it's so hypocritical, you know. I just didn't buy into any of it. I was very much into the physical and you know, business and people and, you know, and I didn't have any choice in the matter. When my friend Adri died, I didn't have any choice. I mean, from that point, from 2012 to today, it has been an absolute, the craziest roller coaster. So I think, well, at least my experience was that, let's put it this way. When I finally broke through with ayahuasca, and when I finally got to the door and opened it up, I said, oh shit, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I was actually disappointed that I broke through. And then God is like, you know, who are you talking to? You know, there's no one here but you. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And so I was just like, this just can't be. This just, this just can't be. I mean, I can't be the one. It's, this is, I mean, God's got to be separate from me. I was expecting this, some sort of, I didn't expect it to be so personal, I think is what it was. It shocked me out. And then when I was there, it was like, I can't, what I said was, look, it doesn't make a difference what form I take. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, it doesn't make a difference how complex I make it. I always figure out what the hell I am. And, but this is what I love doing. I like putting myself in a form. I like making it really super complex. And then I love to see how I figure out who I am. I mean,
that's way too much for me. I
mean, it's insanity. Who does that? I mean, what
you do?
What mad soul does some stuff like
I'm
that?
like, dude, just look at
I know.
what I want to say. But you and I, Rod, couldn't be any more opposite, but yet I learn from you all the time. Like I listen and I look and I watch and I peruse and then most times I rub my head going, what the hell? And then I go back and I process it. But I know that God made me a simple person. Now, when I say that, I do not mean I'm a simple person. I mean, I take the everyday, I take the big stuff and I chew it up and I spit it out really simple in terms that every single person who's searching for something has something to grab onto and know where to start. I'm not going to take you over the finish line probably because that's way too esoteric out there. I'm not that person, but I'll chew it up for you and you can hang on to the pieces and ride with me as far as I can take you. I mean, that's where you might pick up the next half of the journey. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I can't, I mean, to me, and I didn't mean to take away from Savannah's time, but, I mean, for me, it was, it's still a shock to this day. I still wake up every day and I'm just like, it's just insanity. I mean, no one, who would do this?
You're the ground truth.
I guess I would be the one that would do this. And I think like put it this way, when I had the first LBL, when I got there, and they're like, hey, look, we know that you were going to commit suicide. We knew you would be so upset if you got back here because you demand to go back right away. So we decided to let you know what was going on. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm like, dude, why can I not hear anything? I mean, I have been down there for, 40 something years and I can't hear anything. And they looked at me and they said, what are you talking about? That's what you wanted. And I was like, what? And then I saw the images of me telling them, I want to go down there, I'm going to do this by myself. I don't want any help from anybody. And this is the type of balls that I have in the spirit world. I mean, I've got, I'm telling them I don't want any interference. I want to do it by myself. And then I'm complaining to them that I can't hear them. And it's like a huge joke.
You got what you asked for.
That's what they said. You got what you wanted. What are you upset about? Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, there's nobody to blame but me. Okay. And
you're clearly a messenger, though.
Absolutely.
A messenger for what? I have no idea. Well, I know we don't die. I know that.
But Rod, it might be time to okay, you've done it all, and you're going through this kind of sort of.
Many people, a lot of people.
Maybe it's time to ask your guides for some help. Maybe spend some time in meditation and trying to talk to them. Rather,
I don't have the desire to I'm not trying to push to have another experience to figure out what's going on. Like that whole part of me was just done. Now it's like, okay, so you have all this information. Now what do I do with that? How do I take that and put it into my life on a daily basis? You know
what's funny for me, because I'm sitting here and all I can process in my head is I don't care what's going on. I really don't. And I don't say that.
There's nothing really to do. There's nothing to do.
I don't mean that disrespectfully, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, there's a plant right here. It's growing. It's beautiful. It's feeding me. And I'm looking at the plant. I'm going to drink this water. And I'm like, how simple are you? Like,
It's just, well, there's nothing, truthfully, there's nothing to actually do. You're just being.
Yeah,
You're just being. You're just being.
That's me too, Veronica. I call myself,
Do that.
but I'm very happy that way.
Yeah, I'm very simple. And I tell you a quick story. I was in the grocery store and I was pushing my cart around and this lady comes up to me and she says, I've been following you. And I must have got a look on my face like, what the hell? She said, no, not in a weird way. And she said, I just want to comment to you that I've been watching you. Every person interacts with you. Every person that you walk by says something to you, smiles at you. She goes, what do you have? What's your secret? Yeah. And of course, me being the smart ass, after I said, well, I'm on crack, then I said, went like, oh, and I went, no, I'm kidding. I said, you know what? I love the fact that I'm alive. I love that I have life in my body, breath in my body. Every day I wake up, I am so thankful. And it was like, that's the truth of it. Do I wake up? People think I wake up with birds singing on the windowsill. I got bird shit on my windowsill, just like the rest of you. But the truth is, I just look past the bird shit because it doesn't bother me. I don't know what else to say. But Rod, you and I are very complimentary because I learned from you in that sense that, okay. So
that's interesting. I mean, and it's interesting to me that you would come out and you already know that you're connected to everything. And I'm like, holy crap. I don't know that would have been the right thing for me. Like, I'm sure that I've had plenty of lives where I've come out and it's like, okay, no, I know there's something, but this one was different. This one was much different. Yes. What if we don't let you know anything? What if I decide I don't want to know anything? Like, I just want to see all the separation. You know what I'm saying? Only experience the separation, and then boom, we're gonna hit you down the line with all the information. Well, then that's going to be an interesting perspective, isn't it? Because then it's okay, now you have to undo this sort of human conditioning that you've had, and now you have to sort of take this information and sort of apply it to the experience that you've had for all your life. That's a lot different type of thing. But I mean, it certainly makes sense. It's certainly interesting, I think.
Well, who's glad they didn't sign up for that?
I'm glad I signed up.
Well, I thought I was normal.
That's intense.
Like average.
Intense.
I'm surprised none of you people are, have not been like totally in the separation thing. You guys
you are groundbreaking in your own right.
Absolutely.
You have been a warrior on the ground for everyone.
Well, you're a messenger.
You're doing everything for everyone to show us all different aspects. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. I agree.
Veronica, this is Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi. I do feel a kinship with Rod. I think I probably did. I think I was more of a warrioress in my past lives. I do feel that since I'm so keenly interested in his adventures, I do feel, like I said, a kinship. And I do feel like I'm probably on one of my last lives. I've known that since I was born too. So, we've done a lot of things in our past lives. I do think I did stuff like him before. I feel like earlier in my life, I felt like that too. But I've come around to just be accepting of what, like you say, I'm the celestial matchmaker, accidental medium. That's my role right now, and I'm really, really comfortable with it, So, Rod, I do believe that you are being a warrior right now, and I do believe that's your path right now. And I think you're going to find the answers for now. And as you roll into further lives, I don't know, I can't see your future lives, this will settle down for you. This will settle down.
But you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I'm 1,000,000% confident of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Elizabeth?
I just want to ask Rod something. Do you, I keep asking myself why? Why does your soul keep doing this hiding thing? are you getting to the end of your life here, incarnating? Are you ready to flip off to be with God? Are you ready to join? You know, like, why would your soul continue to bloody do it?
Because
To help us. To help
Leading you
us.
in a way.
I think that, to me, at least from what I can gather, is that that's the most fascinating game to play. You know, you're the divine and you put yourself into a form to forget you're the divine. And then let's watch and see, you know, does he pick up the clue here? What does he do with it then? I mean, if I'm watching that from a distance, I'm going to be pretty fascinated with this story. I mean, what is this character going to do next? Where is he going to go? What's he going to, what conclusion does he draw? And how, what does it drive him into another direction? I mean, I think for me, I don't think there's anything quite as exciting as that. I mean, I would probably like a little bit more Hollywood, you know, sort of special effects. But I mean, when I say things that happened to me were just absolutely astonishing.
Brig has her hand up.
I'm sorry. I didn't
Yes,
see.
I have something what came through me, Rod. I think you are a tool. You are a messenger for so many. You don't even know the messengers you're giving out to it directly, because it's not meant for you. Yeah, it's meant for you to tell others. That's a very, very clear understanding in me. I don't think that it's always.
You're breaking up.
Can't hear you.
Someone without even being aware.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why do I keep doing it? Because I think that if I just take a form, take a form, I'm going to come out and I'm gonna know. And I mean, I'm gonna know really quickly. I think I'm just gonna. So what I have to do is, it sort of works like this. Like, if you play a game, okay, you play a game and you play that game and you figure the puzzle out really quickly, okay, it's not that much fun to play that game again, right? So you take the game again, right? And then you start adding layers of complexity in order to make it more difficult for you to figure out what it is. And so that's what actually becomes incredibly entertaining, I guess, is the complexity that you put on it. And then when you still figure it out, then you're like, okay, I have to even design it even more complex, just because I love the idea of working within it to figure out what's going on. So I think if I didn't do that, and if I told them, look, don't give, if I told them it's okay, you can help me, it would just be very easy. But if I tell my guides and my counsel I don't want any help, and I get down here and we put the conditions on, the layers of this life, we put on some really good trauma, some real good abandonment, and we get you really stuck in that lower vibrational, then it's like, okay, now what will the character do? How is it going to figure it out? And I think, to me, I can't imagine a more fascinating game to play.
Just describe why I don't play chess.
Well, imagine it like this. Like, if you come in and you get the information, right? What, that's one way of getting it. But imagine not having any clue at all. And then you get it. And it's just an explosion of information in your head. And it's shocking. It's shocking. But I don't think I would. I don't know. I don't. Maybe the other lives. Maybe it just wasn't as adventurous for me. It wasn't as intriguing, or it wasn't as
Well, I have a sense, Rod, that this will be your last pit stop. So you're going to squeeze every ounce out of this that You can.
Me too. Me too.
He
Yep.
said that.
I'll tell you this. When I was over there, what I realized was that of all of the things that I may have not liked about my life while I was in it, and I'm talking about the trauma and the people being, I don't know, cruel or whatever it was. And I thought that I thought that once I left that I would be so happy to be rid of all of those awful things. And then what I realized is that I actually really miss all of the awful things. I mean, I miss the awful things. I also miss the great things. I mean, you miss all of it because all of it is the story. The whole thing, the bad stuff, the good stuff. I mean, you will miss the bad stuff.
I don't
if not more than the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't see as good or bad. I just see it.
Yeah, it's just the story. You miss the whole story. And I thought to myself, when I leave here, I miss it so much that I so desperately want to come back that I think even if it's not a requirement, I think I'm still coming back anyways because I love this game. I love this. I mean, I love it. What else is there to do?
Well, with that said, I have just a couple of minutes left. So if anybody I can leave, y'all can keep talking. I have no problem. I've been going since 8 o'clock this morning with clients and I'm needing to go get some wine. Tracy.
I'm sorry I didn't mean to take up anybody else's.
No, this is awesome for y'all.
So,
Tracy, what do you have, honey?
I just wanted to know, I have a son and I wanted to know, he's like a walking human Xanax Valium. He's amazing. And I wanted to know if he's a starseed. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. A starseed or some kind of being that came in to heal people with his words.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know labels, but he will dispense calmness no matter where he goes. His profession will help people work through stuff. So I don't know what that looks like, but I'm going to say yes, he's a starseed. Yes, he is.
I feel it.
Absolutely. I was going to not go with a label at first, but that's what I'm hearing. Definite starseed. Just feeling him makes me want to go, oh, like
yes,
chill out, like relax.
Yes.
He totally has this. Does he play the guitar?
Yes.
Okay, that's the one. Okay.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm. He will also be a brilliant lyricist. He will write lyrics.
Really? Okay.
Whether he knows it or not, he will.
All right, I'm going to let him know to start writing down things because I've given him stuff, I've given him books and But what do you have any feeling on my youngest one? I only have 2. So my younger one, where he's kind of at?
They're 2 very different opposing personalities. So no coincidence that they chose to have the same, come under the same roof because one will balance the other very simply. Almost by osmosis, they will, take on each other's characteristics and traits and energies and feelings. The younger one, what is he, about 9 or 10?
24.
Wow, so why am I getting 9 or 10 years old?
Because my oldest one got hit by a boat at 9 years old.
Oh, because I felt stuck there. I felt drawn there. What was the younger one doing when he felt it. There was a bonding there.
Yeah, there was a lot of commotion for about a year.
Okay. Yeah, I was drawn right to that age. So
I think I had a near-death experience. I'm not sure, but I feel that my oldest one had a near-death experience when he got hit by the boat.
Yeah, interesting.
And he's been connecting.
The younger one can't. He's looking for himself. He's again like Silvana and Rod, like maybe not to their degree of searching and seeking, but he is going to be your seeker.
That he is.
Yep. And that's cool.
Thank you, Veronica.
You're welcome. Who else? Does anybody else have anything for me? And you guys, Rod, you guys, please, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but my
I
tickle here.
like, can you hear me?
Yeah, Brig, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you all for being here and thank Rod for the great generous gift and wish you all a wonderful, wonderful,
What's that?
You broke up there, Britt.
wonderful holidays.
Yes, you too.
Did you hear all this?
Yeah, you can hear. I can't hear anybody.
Yeah,
Well,
she
thank
break-
you
break
so
up.
much.
Wishing everybody happy holidays.
Oh,
And
thank you. Rod,
Yeah, thank you, Rod. Thank you, Veronica.
I want to say to Rod, thank you for always raising the bar. Always. And for
Yes,
always
yes.
putting food for thought in front of me
Mhm.
and for pushing me and stretching me. I go in that group and some days I shake my head and I rub my head, and they're the days I know I need to go back in that group. Because where you are, I need to grow to. And I'm not talking about the material stuff or the experiences you have. You just present something that I feel thirsty for. So thank you for that.
Yes.
it's very
Thank
sweet. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. All right, sweet soul.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Veronica.
Bye.
I'll,
Have a
Bye,
good
Rod. Bye, Veronica. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Rod.
I'm gonna end up. I'll post it as soon as I can get it downloaded and uploaded to YouTube.
Thank you, Rod.
So look for it online. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Veronica.
much.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Rod.
Good night, everybody. Happy holidays.
Good night.
Thank you. Happy
Happy
holidays.
Bye bye.
I don't want to leave. I love y'all.
Thank you, Rod. Nice to see you.
Love you.
Thank you, Veronica. Everybody.
Love you. Bye bye.